Live from Lagos and Nigeria, this is Enterprise Television, and now to our first conversation for today. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Efcc, and the celebrity Cubana, the Cubana chief priest, have agreed to settle out of court regarding the Naira abuse case filed against the socialite. The Efcc had dragged the Cubana chief priest to court over allegations of Naira abuse, but the socialite was granted a 10 million Naira bail after he pleaded not guilty to the charges at the Federal High Court in Lagos on April 17. The EFCC arraigned him before Justice Kehinde Okundari on 3 counts of abuse of Naira, spraying and tampering with the nation's currency at a social event contrary to the provision of the Central Bank Act of 2017. And still with me in the studios to discuss these and more is Emeka Madu. He is a journalist and a public affairs commentator. And with me also is Obeoluwa Taiwo, a public affairs analyst. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And welcome to Happy Friday.
Yes, thank God it's Friday.
World Press Freedom Day.
Wow.
You're welcome once more. All right, so let's take a look at this issue of settlement out of court. And this question is directed to you, Obeoluwa. This allows, of course, out of court cases allows both parties to control cases that outside of the court. But however, this cannot be done without one party agreeing to that. So does this mean the Cubana chief priest is pleading guilty to the case in question, even if they agreed to settle out of the court?
You know, so for settling out of the court is it's like a two space, so to say. Now, so if you are settling in court, out of court, that means you are agreeing that you are guilty.
Whoa.
But he actually pleaded not guilty. So there a little bit of gap in terms of contradiction, you know.
Okay, he pleaded not guilty
earlier on.
But desiring to settle out of court is an admission of guilt.
Oh, it's an admission of guilty. So the first thing we should look at is you have the bail. You know, you have the bail, you have the option of bail, like the 10 million and other stuff. You know, the other cross-dresser, he pleaded guilty. All right. So there was no option for him.
Oh.
So he just straight. So we don't know whether it's him or her, but he went straight into the prison. Yeah, we're told it's him, but he said it's she.
No,
so,
he said it's him.
Okay, he said it's him.
Yeah.
So we don't know whether it's him or she now. Okay.
I'm going to jail.
Yeah. So okay. So if you go to jail, you know, that means there are a lot of, that's why it's called Correctional Service Center. So that means that gender has been corrected by the NCS. Okay. So beyond that, we look at the fact that, you know, law is law. Talking about the embodiment of our norms, culture, values, beliefs. All right. Now, when we talk about law, we also talk about the Constitution. All right. Then we also talk about the precedents. So each of the cases is a result of what has happened earlier on in the past. So in this particular case, you are saying that you're not guilty. And if you are not guilty, what is your lawyer saying? Is your lawyer looking for bail, or are you going to appeal the bill you have been given? Because if you have to pay 10 million also, it's also admittance of that same. So it's like he's trying to play around the courts. And that shows us that our law needs to be
rejigged,
holistically reviewed and rebuilt upon. You know, because I'm seeing a lot of gap. But even though I'm not a legal practitioner, but I'm seeing a lot of lacuna within the system. Because if I'm settling out of court, it shows that I'm guilty. If I'm not guilty, why should I be settling out of court? In the first place, how did you get into court? You have violated a particular rule that do not spray the currency. It's violation. So if you have violated that, the law will take its course on you. And when the law takes its course on you, the first thing you should have done is preventing yourself from being arraigned in the court. That's what the lawyer should have done. The lawyer should have got an injunction. But maybe they were not smart to that level, or they were being too overconfident. You know, that's another area with our, the elite in Nigeria. That's overconfidence that, everything is all about money. But we can see in 21st century, money can be useless. When it comes to court cases, money can be useless. So the parameter is dynamic in nature.
Yeah, well, I think, in every case, there are at least 3 sides, the side of the plaintiff or prosecutor, the side of the defendant, and the side of the law. Now, every case seeks to correct observed injustice or observed malice. So, at the end, that's why we have what we call social justice, in the interpretation of the law. So, the law is not meant to deliberately punish people. Yes, accused persons, if there is a possibility of a remedy, of remediating the issue at hand. For instance, somebody is a first-time offender. You can, on that basis, maybe look at people, what they say about his or her character, what they say about his or her, standing in the society, maybe certain contributions he or she has made to the society. Those are arguments that can be made, and the court can say, okay, all right, go and settle out of court and try and see if you can reach an understanding that will not lead to a custodial sentence or a conviction. So there will be certain, it's a give and take situation. I don't know what discussions lawyers on both sides, have had, side of the Efcc, side of Obi Cubana. But, knowing the profile,
Cubana chief priest.
Cubana chief priest, Cubana chief priest, But knowing the influence that Cubana chief priest wields, in society, I think they may have looked into it, They may have, considered it. That, okay, this person is an influential figure among youths, and we can use him to positively effect a change to stop this Naira spray, and to also deal with certain other issues, Like I was saying, when a journalist, when a TV presenter, Rufai Husseini, was arrested sometime, some time ago, somewhere around the Kodu, and he pleaded that, the app he was using, Google Map, showed him that this lane, he could go on a lane, which he didn't know was a BRT lane. Now, the police will tell you ignorance of the law is no excuse. But the same law, go and check the law, the criminal code, it agrees that you can make an honest mistake. And so, when people were shouting, jail him, seize his car, destroy it, I said, why are we behaving like people in ancient Rome, who are very excited by the spilling of blood, when the gladiators face themselves? And the society has evolved from that time, and made us more rational. I felt this is a golden opportunity for the Lagos State government to say, okay, ignorance of the law versus an honest mistake. Okay, proof of evidence. Okay, he has admitted it. And even when you catch a man stealing, you've caught him with a tuber of yam, there's what is called fair hearing. You can give him fair hearing. He says, oh, I was very hungry. That's why, my children at home, my wife, no food. That's why I stole this year. It's not that I'm a thief or a criminal.
And possibly the penalty might be less.
I know the court might even say, okay, due to extenuating circumstances, okay, all right, we will not convict you. All right, we will just sentence you. And so, okay, you sweep the premises of the court. Or they will take you somewhere, you'll be sweeping some gutters for some time. Why? Because if you throw that man into jail, you are not going to correct the situation. The wife and children are still there, hungry. So, and the man is the breadwinner. You must still discharge your social responsibility of ensuring that you don't leave a family in distress.
Now, talking about leaving the family in distress, Mr. Taiwo, let's take a look at this. Two persons have committed same crime. One is currently incarcerated for 6 months. The other one is walking free. Some words
you mean three, because there was an actress.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but let's focus on these two
officers.
individuals, the cross-dresser Bobrisky and this Cubana chief priest. One is incarcerated, the other one is walking free. Now, words on the street, are beginning to blame Bobrisky for coming out to plead guilty and knowing that he is a first-time offender. What do you think this would do to our judicial system? Because people are saying now, if you are a first-time offender, never ever you plead guilty. Do you think that makes sense? And what do you think this will do to our judicial system?
For the cross-dresser, the first time I had the case, the first person I would blame is the lawyer, is the legal practitioner, because you have more information than the young man or young woman in quotes. You have the more knowledge, you have the technicality of the law and the constitution, what the constitution says. So for the lawyer, another thing we must also understand is that there are a lot of sentiment around law these days, which is not generic in the Western world. I don't believe in that sentiment of first time offender. I don't believe in saying that sentiment. I don't. I may be wrong, but I don't believe in first, because like he said, ignorance is not acceptable in law. Take it or leave it. I am not aware. That's already maybe 2 years already. That you are not even aware is an offense. You should be aware. You're a citizen of India. You should be aware. Will I take one way in UK on the Wall Street claiming ignorance? The answer is no. It's not possible.
But the penalties might differ.
It might differ, but you still face the penalty.
Okay.
All right. So how come that on the street of London, I have a traffic offense? On getting £2,000 alert on my phone, no sentiment. That is the system we should be emulating. No sentiment. At the end of the month, you pay the £2,000. No conversation, no negotiation. Whether you're a first timer or not, it doesn't matter. And in fact, the ability or the capacity not to be able to pay that fine alone is another offense entirely. Because that shows that you are living below the average standard that you pose to the government. That means you are a threat to the citizen. You are a threat to government. Because you have a car. You're already in a car. That means you have a job. That means you have health insurance. You have car insurance. You have life insurance. So how come we are having this fine of £2,000 and you can't pay? It's an offense entirely. It's another offense. So an offense within an offense. So how come we are not emulating such? Each time we look at the Western world, we have that comparative analysis that, there are a lot of japa. I want to leave Nigeria. I want to be on the street of London. I want to be in Russia. I want to be in Japan. The question is, what is the difference? What are the objects of discussion in that comparative analysis? The major object of this comparative analysis is what? There is a system that is working, irrespective of who you are. Nothing like first-time offender. I don't believe in it. I may be wrong. I don't believe in it. You are wrong. You are wrong. If not, look at what happened at VGC. A billionaire was caught with narcotics and the rest. I can also claim in the court of first offender. And lo and behold, more than maybe 2,000 youths, their life has been destroyed. So what does that mean? 2,000 generation has been destroyed, wiped out because of a first-time offender. I don't believe in it. So, Bobrisky is in the custody. Cubana chief priest is outside. Something must be done.
Exactly.
So that the citizen will understand that the hope of the common man is still the judiciary.
Very soon. All right, so quickly, before we go home, policies and laws are tied and made in accordance to the culture of the people. So what is obtainable or laws that are made in the UK is tied to their culture. Laws made in Nigeria should equally be tied to our culture. Now, culturally, we are people of celebration. And during celebrations like this, it's okay to maybe, show some sort of currencies and all that and so on and so forth. Now, how do you think we can better have the best celebration without necessarily, abuse the law in course of that? Let me start with you.
For years, Nigerians, some years now, Nigerians have started adjusting, in terms of spraying the naira. And I think the EFCC too, if you look at the charges they brought against the actress, against Bobrisky, against Cubana chief priest, they talked about defacing the naira. Because it may be difficult to sustain an offense in spraying the naira. You understand? I'm not saying it might be difficult. Because if there's a bag here, and I just touch, and it drops in the bag, I touch, it drops in the bag.
So just that's how as defacing.
So, but defacing is when money is thrown, and then the video shows that people are stepping on the money. So that, I think EFCC has also, the EFCC lawyers have also looked at it, that people might just go scot-free. So let us, if you insist on spray, let's insist on defacing as an offense.
And not totally wiping off.
So you see, like in, religious gatherings, churches and all that, you see what they do is they will announce, so don't spray any money. In fact, they will even say for reasons of their faith, please don't spray money on the couple, or don't touch the couple with money. Okay, they will provide a carton. So while you are dancing, somebody is also dancing along, and you are dropping money in it, And by the side, a woman was recently convicted for trafficking in naira notes. And so you find out that even while people are dancing, transactions are also going on. Somebody whispers to the person collecting the money that I need change. So then there is an assistant somewhere that dips the hand inside the carton, takes some money and quickly, does. So you see, yes. We are ordinarily a merry people. Even Lord Dugas said it in his racist book, in the Dua Mandate. He said it that blacks, Africans were merry. We're merry people. But you see, even merriment should be done in moderation. So, like you saw some videos, some people said, okay, EFCC CEO, we didn't spray money. I saw one video of somebody, the person placed their hands like this, and people were putting words of notes on it. They said, EFCC, they didn't spray me this money. And they carried it away. Another person put something like an open box, and said, and people were putting money there. EFCC, you didn't spray money. So you see, there are certain things you can't remove totally from the culture of a people.
Exactly.
So you in trying to criminalize anything around it, you have to be very careful. Because the people can come out and accuse you of trying to deny them of certain aspects, you understand, of their culture,
which is very important. Yes. Your last thought on
all right.
that.
So there's something called a global village. So as of today, we're living in a global village. So no government, no law is in isolation. We've signed different treaties. We're a member of World Bank. We're a member of ICC, ICJ, this here and there, member of IMF, all of this. So the conversation is what? One, globally. So what transpired in UK, in Russia, in Japan, transpire also in Nigeria in terms of the economy. Now, what transpire in terms of SDGs in the Western world also transpire in Africa. So, what do we have? Why should I spray? What is the consequence? What is the projection to an average youth? We're talking about what? Neo-colonialism, subjugation, oppression. So, if you continue that, the coming generation sees that the evidence of my capacity is that I don't go to a party until I have the capacity to spray money. So we can see that there are a lot of conversation around this. So EFCC is not working in isolation. EFCC is part of the global village. So they are doing the right thing at the right time. Don't forget, this has always been part of our law. But there is nobody or agency to what? To make it visible. So that is why EFCC is making it visible now, that this law has always been there. We must understand that part. It has always been there. So how come this year, in the 21st century, we're not having the media going haywire on this particular issue? The question is, the youth must understand that we are looking at the future. We are looking at building sustainability for our economy. Then some negativity must be curtailed at the corridor of the courts.
Definitely. Well said. And the truth still remains that our currency is our means of identity. It is on it that Nigeria is proud to say, yes, we are Nigeria and different from other countries around the world. I'd love to say thank you to Opeoluwa Taiwo for being part of our show today. Thank you so very much for the insight. And Emeka Madonago, thank you also for being part of our show today. So when we return, a journalist mark World Press Freedom Day today. We'll talk about all that shortly when we return. Please don't go anywhere.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.